Back here at Mini of Loveland, sister dealership of Coase BMW. Here on the Ram Report, Brian Roth and head coach Jim McElwain back with you. Well, time to take a look at one of the all-time great running backs at Colorado State in Damon Washington. And coach, you know, Damon Washington's a guy that played with two other good running. Calvin Branch was there, Kevin McDougal was there. There was outstanding competition at the running back spot.
Well, it goes back to what we talk about. You know, you've got to have really good people at a lot of positions. And in that case, when you develop the depth, the competition at the position, and to be able to keep those guys fresh, I mean, that's what great programs do. And that's just another look at where we need to go and in the direction we're headed. The depth at those positions, and when you have guys like that you can interchange and maybe have a little bit of a change up here and there, it really gives those defenses a lot to work on.
Absolutely. It was a wonderful trio of running backs, one of which was Damon Washington, who was inducted into the Colorado State Sports Hall of Fame this past October.
Sends a man in motion. That's Workman to the left. Here is the quick toss, and it's going to be Damon Washington. Touchdown! He starts to the left, cuts it back to the middle, and scores a Ram touchdown.
Sonny Lubick was blessed with many great running backs during his time at Colorado State. Damon Washington was clearly one of the best.
When we had Damon Washington, we had one of the premier running backs in our conference, and one could always count on him. Yeah, Damon was a talented, shifty, good running back and could catch the ball out of the backfield.
Damon was a guy, he played with a lot of intensity. He was a real battler. And I was thinking about him last night, and it's almost like a mouse. A mouse just needs enough of a hole to get his head through, and then it could get the rest of its body in there too. That's the same way Damon was. You give him that tiny hole, especially on the outside, he'd get his body through. And it always seemed to me, he'd always get a few extra yards.
One play that Mike remembers happened at Michigan State in 1988. It was 4th and goal from the 3-yard line.
A year ago, Damon wants to throw. Now he's going to run the ball. He will score! Touchdown on the right side.
He picked up that 4th and goal, scored the touchdown. And that, you know, we're playing in front of 75,000. None of us had really experienced that before. He punches that ball in, and we kind of just got that momentum going.
Another play that Coach Lubick recalls happened at San Diego State, and the Rams were backed up deep in their own territory.
I think it was 3rd and 31 or 3rd and 30, and Coach Leahy called one of his famous draw plays, and Damon broke it for 32 yards, and it was a big play, and we got first down, and I had a real sigh of relief in my heart because that kind of cinched the game for us. We could run out the clock. But Damon broke that thing, broke some tackles, and that's the type of bad. Once he got through that initial wave of defenders, you get him on linebacker secondary, anything could happen. But that was we were all laughing, even on the phones at that time. We're like, how the heck they brought the change in, and we made the first down by about that much.
Damon's career stats might have been even more impressive, except that he always shared the running back duties with guys like Calvin Branch and Kevin McDougal.
6 yards a carry. I mean, he had 600 carries, I think, roughly in his career, going for about 3,600 yards. And you can't help but think of what would he have done if he would have gotten the bulk of the carries every game, both those years. I mean, he would have been maybe a 6,000-yard rusher in his career. I had blocked for him for 4 years. It was an honor, 95 through 98. He's a phenomenal football player, and I feel like, you know, I'd consider him a brother, absolutely.
Damon Washington was all WAC in 1997. The same year, he helped the Rams defeat Missouri in the Holiday Bowl.
Just been a wonderful ambassador while he was here at Colorado State. He helped us win championships. And then, you know, I guess you look at his career after that any time a player can go and play at any length of time in the NFL and do things like that, it proves that he is something extra special.
5-rib touchdown! The 3rd of the day for Damon Washington.
Again, Damon Washington, part of that great rushing attack back in the mid to late 90s. All right, we're going to switch gears, get away from football here. Usually we talk volleyball coming up in this next segment. We're not going to Tom Hilbert on the road, but earlier this week, Tom Hilbert won his 400th game at Colorado State. That's quite a feat.
You know, it's unbelievable. And as I talked to Hilbs, you know, in the office, you know, before and after, I tell you, what an accomplishment. And it shows you the quality of coaches that we have here at Colorado State.
Yep, absolutely. In fact, that number has risen to 402 after a couple of victories here this past weekend. So instead of going to volleyball, we'll talk some men's basketball coming up in the next segment. We'll get Larry Eustachy on set. That comes up next here on the Ram Report.